Thank you very much for that introduction, Mike.
£1 million for a bid. You can't bid for less than £1 million. However, sector, £1 million is way beyond what very, very large numbers for growth. So we have approached the 4 clearing banks.
Okay. On the by-election, I mean, first of all, I've had meetings with our candidate, Kashif Ali. I'm going to be campaigning with him later today. And far from taking some sort of laid-back attitude, I would make the point that I'm, I think, the first Prime Minister in over a decade to visit an English by-election. And this is a challenge for political historians. I think you'd be very pushed to find a Prime Minister who went to a by-election where their candidate started in 3rd place. And I'll be on the streets of Oldham and Saddleworth this afternoon campaigning very hard for Kashif Ali. Of course I said warm things about our coalition partners because we're in a coalition together, we're working together. And so some of the normal political discourse between our two parties is carried out in a slightly more gentle way than it has been up to now. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. I think in business you call it co-opetition or something like that. But we will be fighting very hard for every vote. We'll be campaigning on the streets. We have an excellent candidate. He fought very well at the last election. He's a local man. I think he'd make a very good member of Parliament, and that's why I'll be there, as I say, breaking with the normal tradition of Prime Ministers not going to by-elections in England. Certainly the last one didn't. The one before that, I think, went to one in about 1998 or 99. I've only been doing the job 7 months. The first by-election comes along, I'm out of the traps and on the streets. In fact, you could argue I actually went to the delayed election in the Vale of York, if you want to get very technical about it. So it's all part of a very active campaigning pattern. Flu vaccine, clearly we keep a very, very close eye on this. I've had regular conversations with Andrew Lansley about it. The way it works in this country is that GPs are responsible for ordering in advance the flu vaccine, which they did this year, and ordered very large stocks of flu vaccine. Clearly those stocks are being used up, and in some places, yes, there have been some shortages, and the Department of Health is meeting urgently and working hard to work out how we can help address that issue. One way we can do that is obviously there's a national stock of flu vaccine from the pandemic of 2009, and while that vaccine is slightly different to the vaccine we would now be giving anyway, it does have some of the common characteristics. So one of the urgent discussions at the Department of Health right now is to work out whether that vaccine, the stocks of vaccine from the previous pandemic, would be useful. But we're working extremely hard to make sure we get this right. One more or two more questions.